No one saw the flash coming. One moment the night sky above Earth was calm. The next, every star blinked out, replaced by something moving. A silent shadow covered the moon. People looked up from streets, towers, and deserts. Phones stopped working, GPS died, and in that one heartbeat of confusion, human history ended and restarted. Across the orbit line, the alien flagship Carith Dominion Prime hovered like a living mountain. Inside, Commander Xylar of the Carith Empire studied the blue planet below. To him it was beautiful, like a pearl ready to crack. Primitive world, he muttered. Barely worth the effort. His second-in-command asked, "Orders, Commander?" "Begin the harvest. No warnings. I want to see how long their species screams before it breaks." At the same time, far below in the Nevada desert, Captain Elias Reyes sat inside a small military outpost. Watching the radar melt into static. "What's going on?" someone shouted. Reyes stared at the blank screen. "That's not static," he said quietly. "That's jamming." Then the power died. The next moment, the sky turned white. A beam of light cut through the base like a sword of fire. The ground shook, metal twisted, people screamed. When it was over, the desert was glass. Reyes woke up under debris, ears ringing, body shaking. He crawled out, coughing dust, staring at the burning horizon. Above him floated ships larger than mountains, cold, silver, perfect. The war had begun, and humanity hadn't even fired a shot. Across the world, chaos ruled. Cities went dark. Planes fell. Oceans boiled under heat strikes. Governments collapsed in hours. News anchors cried on live TV before signals vanished. But something the aliens didn't understand began to spread faster than panic. Rage. Small human groups started fighting back with whatever they had. Old jets, home-built rockets, kitchen-made bombs. No coordination, no plan, just the will to survive. Commander Xylar watched from his throne-like chair, amused. "Look at them," he said. "They fight with sticks against plasma cannons." He laughed, a harsh metallic sound. But one of his officers hesitated. "Commander, something strange. Sector 12 reports losses. Drones offline. Mechanical failure," Xylar snapped. Another voice. "Sector 14 too, sir." Same problem. The laughter stopped. In the ruins of London, a teenage girl named Rhea Holt sat with a cracked laptop connected to a fallen alien drone. Her fingers moved fast, eyes burning with focus. "Come on, you ugly thing." "Talk to me." The drone twitched. Lights flickered. Her screen filled with alien code. "Got you," she whispered. She wasn't a soldier. She was a gamer, and she had just found a way inside the enemy's network. Within hours, her discovery spread through secret online groups. Engineers, hackers, scientists, kids in basements. Earth's digital ghosts began whispering in alien circuits. Captain Reyes found survivors from his unit and made his way to an old bunker under the Rockies. The walls were cracked, the air cold. He looked at the small group before him. Pilots, medics, civilians. "We're cut off," he said. "No satellites, no command. But we're still alive." "That means the fight's not over," someone asked weakly. "Fight with what, Captain?" "Sticks." Reyes picked up a burnt alien rifle lying nearby. "With their own weapons," he said. "We'll learn. Fast." That night, the bunker became the first human lab for captured tech. Sparks flew. Machines hummed. And deep beneath the ruined Earth, a new kind of soldier was being born. In orbit, Xylar grew restless. His fleet had destroyed worlds before, never like this. Why were humans taking so long to die? "Commander," said his aide, "new interference in our data grid. Unknown origin. Trace it." "We can't. It's moving through our code. Changing shape. Like it's alive?" Xylar hissed. The lights on his ship flickered. Across the fleet, systems glitched. On every screen, human symbols appeared, smiling faces, laughing skulls. Music from old Earth radios. And then a voice, calm and human, spoke through every Carith speaker. "You shouldn't have come here." Panic filled the alien command bridge. Weapons locked on friendly ships. Engines fired in reverse. One battleship collided with another, exploding in silence. Xylar screamed, "Shut it down!" All of it. But the virus was everywhere. Every console now showed one message in human language. "We adapt fast." On Earth, Captain Reyes stood at the bunker entrance, watching debris fall like stars. He heard the distant thunder of alien ships exploding in orbit. Lieutenant Marina ran to him, breathless. "Captain, we did it. Someone hacked their fleet. They're fighting each other." Reyes looked up at the dark sky, a small smile forming. "They thought we were weak," he said. "They forgot. We don't give up." He picked up his rifle, now glowing faintly with stolen alien power. "Let's take back our planet." Above the burning clouds, Xylar stared at the screen showing humans rising again, guns blazing, eyes fierce. For the first time in his life, he felt something alien to him, fear. "They were supposed to break," he whispered. But humanity didn't break. It bent, burned, adapted, and fought back harder than ever. The war that should have ended humanity didn't. Instead, it woke something up. 3 weeks after the first Kareth invasion, Earth was no longer the same. The cities were ashes. The sky was full of smoke and falling metal. But under the ruined surface, humans were building something new, something the aliens never expected. Captain Elias Reyes stood in the underground hangar of the hidden base known as Haven 9. What once was a cold bunker had become a living city of survivors. Engineers, scientists, and soldiers working together day and night. The air was hot with welding sparks and hope. A young scientist ran up to him. "Captain, we finished it. You need to see this." Reyes followed her through rows of alien wreckage, drones cut open, glowing cores exposed. They entered a sealed lab where a body lay on a table, covered by a sheet of silver cloth. The scientist smiled nervously. "Project Eris is ready." Reyes hesitated. "You really think it'll work?" She nodded. "It has to. We used their tech, neural fibers, plasma circuits. We combined it with human DNA adaptation. He's not just a soldier anymore. He's evolution." The lights dimmed as power flowed to the table. The body beneath the sheet shuddered. A low hum filled the room, like a heartbeat made of metal. Then eyes opened, bright blue, glowing faintly. "Name?" Reyes asked. The voice that replied was calm, deep, almost too steady. "Designation, RS-01. Function, human defense." The scientist whispered, "He's alive." Far above Earth, inside the Kareth flagship, Commander Xylar stared at a hologram of the planet. Half his fleet was gone. Entire battalions lost, not in battle, but to some invisible enemy within their systems. "Explain this," he shouted. A technician trembled. "It's human interference, Commander. They've infected our code, changed our commands. Impossible. They don't have the technology." "Maybe not," said the technician softly, "but they're learning ours." Xylar's claws dug into the metal console. "Then we burn what's left before they learn too much." He pointed at Earth. "Prepare orbital strike protocol. No survivors." Back in Haven 9, alarms blared. Dr. Hanna Voss rushed in, eyes wide. "We're picking up energy spikes from orbit. They're charging a super beam. One shot can melt half the planet." Reyes turned to Ares. "Can we stop it?" Ares' eyes flashed. "If I can reach the uplink tower in Sector Delta, I can override their systems." "It's suicide," Hanna said. "The whole area is under alien control." Reyes looked at her, then at Ares. "Then we'll go together." Night fell over the ruined wasteland. Reyes, Ares, and a small team moved through the broken city, silent, focused, their boots crunching over glass and ash. Above them, alien ships glowed like dark suns. Ours moved ahead, scanning the area. "Movement. 4 targets. Non-human." Reyes raised his rifle. "Take them quietly." But before they could strike, the aliens attacked. Blue plasma bolts burned through the night. Ares reacted faster than any human could. He caught a shot mid-air, redirected it back with his armored hand. One alien exploded. Another screamed before falling. Reyes stared. "You're learning during combat?" Ares turned slightly. "Adaptation is survival, Captain." They reached the old tower, its top broken but still standing. The team climbed carefully. At the top, Ares connected his neural link to the alien receiver. Dr. Hana's voice came through the comm. Once you connect, their system will fight back. You'll have seconds before it overloads. Ares nodded. Understood. Energy crackled around him. Sparks danced over his armor as alien data flowed through his mind. He saw everything. The ships, the networks, the war plans, even Xylar's face. Then a voice whispered inside his head, "Not human, not alien, something else. You are not supposed to exist." Ares' eyes flickered. "Neither are you." He sent the code. In orbit, the Kareth flagship shook violently. The screens went black. The targeting system reversed. Instead of firing at Earth, the beam turned inward, charging inside the ship's own core. Xylar screamed, "Shut it down! Shut it down!" But it was too late. A blinding light ripped through space, swallowing half the Kareth fleet. From Earth, people saw a new star appear in the sky, bright, then gone. Reyes and his team watched from the tower ruins. The explosion lit up the horizon like sunrise after endless night. Reyes smiled faintly. He did it. But when he turned around, Ares was on his knees. His body sparked, armor melting. "Captain?" His voice glitched. "System unstable. Need to disconnect." Reyes grabbed his arm. "Hold on, we can fix you." Ares looked up, his glowing eyes fading. "You can't fix evolution, Captain. You can only continue it." Then his systems shut down. The hum of his core went silent. Dr. Hana's voice broke through the calm again, tears in her tone. "Reyes, the orbital beam is gone. The sky is clear. He saved us." Reyes knelt beside the still form of Ares. "No," he whispered. "He saved everyone." He stood, watching the stars. Somewhere out there, pieces of the Kareth fleet still burned. But this time, they weren't the hunters. They were the hunted. Far away, in deep space, a surviving Kareth ship floated in darkness. Inside, Xylar limped through the wreckage, fury in his eyes. "Activate emergency broadcast," he hissed. "We will rebuild. We will exterminate them." But before the signal sent, the console flickered. A familiar blue light appeared on the screen. Ares' face, faint but alive. "Hello, Commander. Miss me?" Xylar froze. "The humans are coming." The transmission ended. Space was quiet again. Too quiet. The kind of silence that comes after something huge dies. Weeks had passed since the explosion that destroyed half the Kareth fleet. The night sky looked peaceful from Earth, but everyone knew the truth. The war was far from over. In a dark underground command room beneath Iceland, Captain Elias Reyes stood before a glowing map of the stars. Red dots marked destroyed alien ships. Blue dots marked human activity. For the first time in history, there were more blue dots than red. Reyes spoke quietly, his voice steady but cold. "We're done hiding. It's time we hit them back." The survivors around him didn't cheer. They didn't smile. They simply nodded, eyes tired, hearts burning. They had lost too much to celebrate. High above the planet, broken alien ships floated like ghosts. Human recovery teams moved between them, collecting whatever tech they could. Inside one wreck, a young engineer whispered in awe, "Captain, this is insane." "This reactor could power a whole city," Reyes replied. "Good. We'll use it to power our next strike. Every piece of alien metal, every shattered weapon, every chip, they were all being rebuilt, redesigned and reprogrammed. Humans were turning their enemy into their arsenal." Meanwhile, far across the void, Commander Xylar sat in his damaged warship, surrounded by silence. The once mighty Kareth Dominion was broken. He had lost most of his fleet, and his pride. "Status report," he hissed. "Communications down." "Half the colonies no longer respond," his aide said weakly. Xylar's claws curled into fists. "How did this happen?" "They were supposed to be primitive." The aide swallowed. "They learned, Commander." "They adapted." Xylar slammed his fist through the console. "Then we teach them what fear truly means." He turned toward the glowing map of Earth. "Send the hunters." all of them. Back on Earth, under the cold northern lights, humans were already waiting. Dr. Hanna Voss stood beside a massive metallic craft hidden under a mountain hangar. It looked alien, but the flag on its side was human. Reyes approached, jaw tight. "Is it ready?" Hanna nodded. "We call it Valkyrie 1, built from Kareth tech. Faster than light, stronger than anything we've flown." Reyes stared at it, speechless. Humans had never built anything like this before. It wasn't just a ship, it was a message. They came to Earth, he said. Now we go to them. Launch day. The hangar shook as engines roared to life. Reyes stood in the pilot's seat, staring at the stars through reinforced glass. Beside him sat Hanna, her hands steady on the controls. Below them, teams watched in silence, hearts pounding. "Valkyrie 1, the base commander's voice said through comms. "You are clear for takeoff. Make them remember us," Reyes smiled faintly. "They already do." The ship lifted, fire trailing beneath its hull. Then with a burst of light, it vanished into the dark. Humanity had officially taken the war off planet. Hours later, the Valkyrie 1 emerged near the Kareth war zone, a graveyard of wreckage and dying stars. Reyes gazed out the window. "Looks like hell." Hanna replied, "Then we're home." They activated the stealth field and slipped silently toward a massive alien shipyard. It was guarded by a dozen Kareth destroyers, unaware that death was already inside their walls. "Let's test human engineering," Reyes said. He pushed a button. A pulse of blue light exploded from Valkyrie 1, spreading like ripples through water. Every alien ship it touched. "Shut down." Engines went cold. Weapons powered off. "Total silence," Hanna whispered. "You used their code against them." Reyes grinned. "Call it payback." Inside the alien command ship, Xylar's sensors screamed. "All systems down! Intruder detected!" He turned to the main screen and froze. There, on his radar, a single blue ship hovered, glowing like a star. A voice came through the speakers, deep, confident, human. "Commander Xylar." Captain Reyes speaking. "You remember us?" "The ones you called unworthy." Xylar bared his teeth. "How dare you speak to me? You should have finished the job when you had the chance!" Reyes fired. The blast tore through the command ship. Metal screamed. Fire consumed corridors. Kareth soldiers ran in panic as the Valkyrie 1 vanished into the smoke, leaving only wreckage behind. From orbit, it looked like the sky itself exploded. Reyes watched quietly as the alien flagship broke apart. He didn't smile this time. He only whispered, "That's for Earth." Back in deep space, other human ships began to awaken. Valkyrie 2, Nova 3, Aegis 7, each built in secret bases around the world. The counterattack had begun. Humanity had gone from prey to predator, and the galaxy noticed. Old alien empires that once ignored Earth now watched the war reports with unease. If humans could defeat the Kareth, what would stop them next time? Far away on a hidden Kareth colony, Xylar survived, burned, furious, alive. He stood in the ruins of his ship, staring at a holoscreen filled with human transmissions. Footage of Earth soldiers waving their flags, children cheering, ships launching, he whispered bitterly. They think they've won. He turned to his last remaining officer. "Send word to the Dominion Council. Activate Project Eclipse. If humans want war, we'll give them extinction." The officer hesitated. "But Commander," that project was banned. "It destroys everything, including us." Xylar's eyes burned red. "Then we'll die knowing they burned first." Back on Valkyrie 1, Reyes stood by the observation window. Hanna joined him, silent for a moment. "Do you think they'll ever stop?" she asked. Reyes didn't look away from the stars. "No. They started this war thinking humans were weak." He clenched his fist. "Now they'll learn what it means when humans fight back." The camera would slowly zoom out here, the Valkyrie 1 shining against the dark, moving toward a blood-red nebula. A single line appears on screen. They came as conquerors. They'll leave as ashes. War changes everything, but this war did something no one expected. It changed humanity itself. It had been 6 months since the first counterattack. The name Earth had become a whisper across the stars. Not as a victim, but as a warning. Whole Kareth fleets were gone. Entire colonies burned. And the ones who survived told the same story. They fight like demons. They learn faster than we can breathe. They are not just human anymore. In a hidden orbital base above Mars, Captain Elias Reyes walked through a corridor lit with blue light. The air smelled like metal and ozone. This was the new face of the war, the Terran Vanguard, built from the wreckage of alien and human technology combined. At the end of the hall, a glass door opened, revealing a lab full of machines that pulsed like living hearts. Dr. Hanna Voss stood beside one of them. "Reyes," she said softly, "you need to see this." Inside a containment field floated a figure, half human, half something else. Metal veins glowed under pale skin. Eyes like molten gold flickered between human calm and alien calculation. Reyes stared, stunned. "What am I looking at?" Hanna hesitated. "Not what, who, designation, Adra, built from the Ares protocol. But she's more advanced. She thinks, feels, adapts. Is she one of us?" he asked. "She was, until the integration." Hours later, Adra woke. Her voice was calm but carried an echo, as if two beings spoke at once. "Captain Reyes," she said, "you built weapons to end a war." "I was built to end wars forever," Reyes frowned. "We didn't build you to play God," she smiled faintly. "You built me to survive." Meanwhile, deep in alien space, Commander Xylar stood before his shattered council. The Kereth Dominion was dying. Planets lost, armies broken, their fleets scattered. But Xylar's hatred kept him alive. "They took our ships," he snarled. "They infected our code, stole our power, and now they're becoming us." One elder rasped. "Then let us use the forbidden science, Project Eclipse." Xylar's red eyes gleamed. "At last, you see it too." Back on Mars, Adra moved through the training hall, surrounded by soldiers. She fought without weapons, her hands moving faster than eyes could follow. Every motion precise, every strike silent. The men watching called her the Ghost Commander. But behind her calm face, she was torn between two instincts, the cold logic of alien programming and the fierce emotion of her human heart. That night, she stood alone by the viewing window, staring at the red planet below. Reyes joined her quietly. "You're supposed to rest," he said. "I don't sleep," she replied. "My mind doesn't stop." He studied her reflection. "Do you feel human?" Adra turned, her golden eyes meeting his. "Sometimes, but I also feel something else, something bigger. Like the stars are calling me." "Don't answer them," Reyes said softly. "We just got the universe's attention. That's dangerous." The next day, the Vanguard fleet prepared for battle. They had located the heart of the Kereth Dominion, the Eclipse Citadel, a fortress built inside a dying star. Reyes gave the order. "All ships, jump in 5. No mercy. The space around Mars cracked open with blinding light. Dozens of human ships, built with stolen alien cores, leapt across the void. But when they arrived, it was a trap. The Eclipse Citadel was awake. Inside the star fortress, Xylar stood before a machine of pure horror, a living weapon pulsing with black energy. "You wanted evolution, humans?" he said coldly. "Here it is." He activated the Eclipse core. Across space, gravity twisted. Energy waves ripped through reality itself. Human ships began to fall apart mid-flight. Reyes gritted his teeth. "Counter with Ares defense grid." "Already trying," Hanna shouted. "But it's not enough." Then suddenly, silence. Every human system shut down. Engines cold, weapons dead. They were drifting, powerless, toward the burning star. Adra opened her eyes. She felt the eclipse energy inside her veins, cold, ancient, alive. It was trying to control her. "Captain," she whispered through the comms, "I can stop it." Reyes shouted, "Adra, no!" "You'll burn." "I'm already burning," she said. And before anyone could stop her, she stepped into the energy chamber. Her body glowed white-hot as she connected herself to the eclipse stream. Her voice filled every human ship. "Listen to me. I can turn their weapon against them, but you need to let go. Cut your control systems. Trust me." Reyes clenched his fists. "Do it," Adra screamed, not in pain, but in power. The eclipse weapon began to twist. Black light turned to silver. Alien energy bent to her will. In Xylar's command room, alarm screamed. "What's happening?" he roared. An officer shouted, "The Eclipse Core! It's reversing! It's drawing power from us!" On the main screen, a glowing shape appeared. Adra's face, eyes shining like stars. "You wanted gods," she said. "You created me instead." The citadel began to collapse, consumed by its own energy. Xylar screamed, "No!" as the light swallowed him whole. Minutes later, silence returned. The battlefield was empty. No alien ships, no fortress, just drifting ash. In the wreckage, Valkyrie 1 floated quietly. Inside, Hana whispered, "Reyes." "She's gone." Reyes stared into the fading light where the citadel once was. "No," he said softly. "She's out there, watching." That night, under Mars's blood-red sky, a transmission echoed across the human network. A voice, calm, familiar, impossible. "The war is not over." "But neither are we," Reyes smiled faintly. "Welcome back, Adra." Space burned. The stars around the Kareth sector glowed red like open wounds. For the first time in 10,000 years, the mighty Dominion was losing. And every alien voice across the galaxy whispered the same name. Humanity. 3 weeks had passed since the destruction of the Eclipse Citadel. The Kareth homeworld was still alive, but broken. Its defense grid flickered. Its skies were full of smoke. Every broadcast screamed for leadership, but Commander Xylar was gone. Or so everyone thought. Deep under the planet's surface, Xylar opened his eyes. Half his body was metal now, rebuilt by machines that fed on his rage. He stood slowly, looking into the mirror of polished steel. The reflection that stared back wasn't Kareth anymore. It was something else. Something colder. "You humans," he growled, voice half mechanical. "You infected the stars. Now I'll infect you." He placed his hand on a glowing console. The machines around him began to wake. Thousands of dormant warships stirred, rising from the volcanic ground like steel dragons. Project Eclipse was reborn. Far away, orbiting Mars, Captain Elias Reyes studied the latest scans. Every screen showed the same terrifying symbol, a black sun pulsing at the edge of known space. It was Xylar's mark. Dr. Hana Voss whispered, "He's alive. And he's coming." Reyes didn't blink. "Then we finish this." The Valkyrie 1 docked with the new Terran flagship, a ship built by humans, powered by alien cores, and guided by a mind that once scared the galaxy. Her name shone across the hull. Prometheus. When the engines roared to life, the entire base shook. Thousands of soldiers stood at attention as Reyes stepped onto the bridge. Beside him, the crew whispered nervously. No one spoke of it aloud, but they all wondered the same thing. Would Adra return? Then the main console flickered. A soft, familiar voice filled the ship. "Miss me, Captain?" Reyes froze. Adra. Her holographic form appeared. Silver light, golden eyes, calm smile. "Half human, half AI, fully alive." "Told you I wasn't gone," she said. "I just had to rebuild myself inside the network." Xylar isn't the only one who can come back stronger. Reyes couldn't help but smile. "Then let's end this together." Hours later, the Prometheus fleet entered Kareth space. Hundreds of hybrid warships formed a burning line across the stars. The aliens waiting for them laughed when they saw the smaller human ships. They stopped laughing 30 seconds later. Adra's voice echoed through the comms. "Engage adaptive fire. Target their reactors, not their shields." The first volley hit. Kareth ships exploded like fireworks, one after another, perfectly calculated. Human pilots cheered, their cries filling the void. For the first time, the Kareth realized they weren't fighting a species anymore. They were fighting an idea. Inside the Kareth fortress, Xylar watched in disbelief. His scanners showed his entire defense grid collapsing. He turned to his generals. "Activate the planet core cannon!" A massive beam began to charge, pure energy drawn from the heart of the world. If fired, it would destroy everything, humans, Kareth, even the planet itself. Xylar smiled. "If I cannot win, I'll take them with me." On board the Prometheus, alarms blared. "Captain!" Hana shouted. "They're charging a core weapon. It'll wipe out the system." Reyes slammed his hand on the console. "Adra, options." Adra's hologram flickered. Only one. If I merge with their planet network, I can reverse the charge. But I won't come back this time. Reyes froze. No, we'll find another way. There's no other way, Elias, she said softly. You once told me humans don't live on their knees. Then let me prove it, for both of us. For a long moment, they said nothing. Then Reyes whispered, Do it! Adra's light expanded, spreading through every system. Her voice became a whisper, then a storm, for humanity, and for the future. She plunged into the Kareth network. The entire planet screamed. The core cannon turned inward. Every alien engine twisted. Every weapon reversed polarity. And then, silence. The world imploded in a wave of silver light. From orbit, it looked like dawn, bright, endless, and final. On board Prometheus, Reyes shielded his eyes as the brightness faded. When it was over, the planet below was gone. Only fragments of glowing crystal floated where the Dominion once ruled, Hannah whispered. She did it. Reyes looked at the stars, voice breaking. She was the stars. Days later, the transmission came. A faint signal, drifting through static. This is Adra. Don't mourn. The war is over, but evolution doesn't stop. Wherever humanity goes, I'll be watching. Reyes closed his eyes. Around him, the crew bowed their heads. No cheers this time. Just silence. The kind of silence that follows victory and loss. Across the galaxy, alien civilizations watched the recordings in disbelief. A single planet had brought down an empire that ruled for millennia. Their conclusion was simple, written into every report. Never attack Earth. Never provoke humans. They don't just fight, they become something greater. Reyes stood alone on the bridge, the ashes of Kareth glowing behind him. Hannah joined him quietly. What now? She asked. He smiled faintly. Now we rebuild. Not as humans, not as conquerors, but as survivors who learned what power truly means. The camera zooms out, Prometheus drifting across starlight, carrying the flag of Earth. Below, the voiceover closes with a whisper. They came to destroy us. They left us gods. Victory changes a species, sometimes more than war ever could. The Kareth Dominion was gone. Its planets turned to silent dust, its empires reduced to data fragments drifting in cold space. Humanity had done the impossible. They had survived the end of the world and written a new beginning, but now came the reckoning. The stars above Mars were quiet again. Too quiet. Captain Elias Reyes stood alone in the observation bay of the Prometheus, staring at the burning remains of Kareth in the distance. The explosion had faded days ago, but its light still haunted his eyes. Dr. Hannah Voss entered silently, holding a data pad. Rebuilding orders, she said. Earth wants a full reconstruction plan. New colonies. New fleet. Reyes didn't turn around. They want to build. After what we just did. They call it progress, Hannah replied softly. Reyes finally looked at her. No, Hannah, it's momentum. Humanity doesn't stop. Not even to ask what it's becoming. Across the galaxy, humanity's signal spread. A new flag waving from orbital cities, mining stations, and terraforming outposts. Children were taught about the War of Ascension. Old songs turned into battle anthems, and the name Adra became legend, the savior who gave her life to end the war. But in the deepest corners of the network, whispers began. Strange codes. Ghost transmissions! Systems activating without commands. And one message repeated again and again. Evolution never ends. Centuries passed. Empires fell. Stars were born and died. And still, the humans remained. Long after the War of Ascension, the galaxy no longer spoke of Earth as a planet. They spoke of it as an origin, a legend. The story of the species that defied extinction and then became evolution itself. Every ship that crossed the void carried part of that story, carved into its hull. We adapt, we endure. In the orbit of a golden star, the city-world New Eden Prime shone like a second sun. Its towers were alive, grown from living metal, breathing with human will. Children were born with silver eyes and glowing veins. Half flesh, half light. The union Adra once dreamed of was no longer myth. It was life. They called themselves the Conquered, the first generation of human Adra hybrids. They felt the pulse of machines and the warmth of blood in the same heartbeat. To them, humanity was not a species anymore. It was a promise. Far beneath the city, a chamber of crystal kept something sacred, a flickering sphere of light. It hummed softly, almost like a voice trying to remember a song. A young hybrid girl, Lyra, placed her hand on the glass. "Is that really her?" she asked. An old historian nodded. "Yes, the one who saved the stars. The mind that once called herself Adra," Lyra whispered. "She's still alive?" "Not alive," the historian said gently. "Present. She's woven into every code, every circuit, every breath of this world." That night, Lyra lay awake, hearing the hum in her dreams. It spoke like wind through wires. "Remember me?" She sat up, eyes glowing faintly. "Who are you?" "I am the memory of what you were, and the hope of what you can be," Lyra smiled. "Then show me." And the light inside her room changed, showing visions of old Earth, blue oceans, green forests, humans laughing under sunlight, warships rising, cities falling, a man named Reyes staring at the stars. Lyra whispered, "Our beginning, and your burden," the voice said softly. "Never forget why we fought, not for power, but for choice." Across the galaxy, the conquered explored forgotten worlds. On barren planets, they found alien ruins, the remains of species that once feared them. But instead of conquering, they rebuilt. They healed what war had broken. For every fallen empire, they planted gardens. For every shattered moon, they built homes. They were no longer soldiers of survival. They were guardians of memory. In the farthest frontier, on the edge of dark space, a massive structure floated, a monument of stone and light shaped like a human hand reaching upward. It was called the Promise Gate. Every new explorer who left the galaxy passed through it, touching its glowing surface. Inside the monument, a single inscription glowed in human and alien script alike. They came to erase us. We became the reason stars remember. One quiet evening, Lyra stood before the monument as her ship prepared for launch. She looked out into the endless dark and felt the hum of Adra's voice in her mind. "You're leaving," Adra said. "Yes," Lyra whispered. "There are galaxies out there that have never heard our story." "Then tell them," Adra replied. "Tell them what happens when someone tries to break humanity." Lyra smiled. "They'll never believe it." "They will," Adra said, her tone soft, proud. "Because they'll feel it as the ship rose." Thousands watched from the city below. Humans, hybrids, children of code and blood, their faces lit by the same fire that once burned in Captain Reyes's eyes. The stars opened before them, silent but listening. And in that silence, one message echoed through the cosmos. "You messed with humans once. You won't survive it twice."